So now we've got the pistons off the bike, or calipers off the bike rather. We can remove the pistons. We got our handy air source here and the tubing. This is just this section here is a bit of 3/8 inch tubing, and that fits in reasonably well to where the brake line connects. And then this is the same size tubing. I believe it's 1/4 inch. And then that plugs into here. Boop. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to try to work in order of the most seized to the least seized pistons, and I'm going to figure out which ones suck the most just by manually going in there, pushing back, and this will also get rid of the brake fluid that's still in there. There's still a little bit of brake fluid. It'll shoot out through here. Just manually go through. That's why I'm using this bucket. Go through and kind of see. Yeah, this one's pretty tough. Which ones are the hardest to move? That one's quite easy. That one's in between. And that one's about the same as the third one. So this one's the most difficult. That was the most difficult one to move. Let me just soak up some of this brake fluid here so it doesn't get, I mean, it's going to get all over most things, but you don't want standing brake fluid. So since we're going to be doing this this piston first, I'm going to get a little piece of wood here, stick it there to prevent those pistons from coming out. Get my vice grip. I'm going to clamp down. Oof. It's hard when you got brake fluid all over your fingers to grip things. It's a little too tight, so we'll get that to the right pressure. Alright, and now with the C-clamp I'm just going to get this this guy over here. Stop it from popping out. Might be easy. Yeah, it's easier to go around the other way here. Okay, so now we've got everything clamped. That means that this piston here is going to be the one to pop out. Actually, let me relocate the vice grip so it pops out when it hits the wood and not the vice grip. That's the whole point of using the wood. And looks like we have enough clearance there. So we'll activate the myriad of lights I have to help me with this job. Headlamp, that guy. Okay, now we connect the air. Make sure that's in there nice and snug. And this will probably be a little bit of a hassle to connect. Oh, geez. Yeah. Be prepared for everything to be very slippery. In fact, I can't even get enough grip on this to really be able to push it into that hole. Okay, I'm going to hope that that's in there good enough. Try to rotate this so that we can see the piston coming out without disturbing my tenuous tubing job. So you should be able to see, when I give it a pump, should be able to see this piston pop out. Hopefully none of my tubing disconnects. It's not really on there super well. And here we go. Well, there's a hole somewhere. Oh, I connected the wrong tube. I've got two tubes over here. Okay, this should work better. And there we go. And hopefully you saw that, but certainly heard it. A little brake fluid backed up. That's fine. Now we just take it all apart. Tidy up portions of my house that you might end up seeing. I'm going to move the camera in a second. So that you can see just how the rings or the seals are kind of in there. So I just take it apart. You know, let me make sure it's pointed in the place I want it to be pointed. Yeah, we're good. That's what I like about the contours. You can see that little laser line. So we take the piston out. Give it a little scrubbing here. I've got just a Powerade cap full of brake fluid. That's probably your best bet. You know, brake fluid doesn't damage brakes. In fact, this piston looks like it's got a little bit of corrosion on it. So I've got some steel wool over here. I'm going to try that. So I'm indicating this area in particular. See what we can do to maybe clean that up. I put that steel wool. There it is. It's coming, just slowly, but I mean it's important. Obviously, this is, you know, to have a smooth surface so that you get a good seal. That's the whole point of doing this job, is to get a good seal. And we're just gonna polish that off. So that may well be why this piston was the most seized. Okay, you look at it now. That's pretty good. Maybe not 100%, but it hasn't been getting better. Use a lint-free shop rag guy like this. Obviously you don't want any lint collecting in there. Now you got a nice shiny piston. So now I'm going to show you how you get the old seals out. I use two little tiny screwdrivers. The tiniest screwdriver is for the smaller of the two rings, and then the larger one is for the larger of the two rings. Just because you gotta be able to kind of work it in the back there. So I'm going to move the camera here. So, hopefully you can see in there, there's two rings on the top here. This is the one that actually rebounds it. You might be able to see there's a little ridge, and I can show you in a new one. So here's a new one. You can see that there's this gap in between here, and that's how much your brake pads move. When you apply the brakes, it squeezes together and that gap closes, and then when you let go of the brake, it opens up and that gap opens. That's how much your brake pads move. So you just need to pop this top one out. That one's pretty easy. Just get in there, boop, pop it out. The bottom one is a little bit more difficult. So especially if it's, you think they might be seized. First thing I like to do is just grab. Let's try to get some better. Oh, there's not really any good way to see in there. Hang on, we'll just increase the angle of the camera. So, just right now I'm just going to try to spin it. I'm just spinning this rubber ring, and then that'll kind of help to break it loose. And you can see it now. Now it's spinning. Now it's spinning. So now it's it's not quote unquote seized anymore. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to jab it. You might be able to see there's a little bevel down here. That means you need to push this down. So I'm going to jab it in the back from the top. Just wiggle it in there. Now let's see. Ooh. Yeah, this ring is definitely swollen. I actually am not going to be able to jab it in the back. So what I'm going to have to do is have to pull it down. This is why I use two. Pull it down a little bit, and hopefully you can see at least some portion of this. Pull it down a little bit, and now I'm going to take the bigger one, and in that gap I just created, force it into there. And now, this big screwdriver, he's stuck. He's not going anywhere. So now that is properly set, I just pull it down and away, and there you go. Oh, no, it didn't pop out. Sometimes it takes a few efforts, and I still can't get it back in cleanly, so I have to repeat that procedure again with the small one. Just kind of peel the seal away as much as possible. And then with a big one, get that back behind it. This one's really causing me some trouble. I can tell, I mean, you can definitely see just that this piston ring is needing replacement, or piston seal is needing replacement. I'm going to try it with both screwdrivers now. Since it's being difficult, get a little bit extra surface area in there. Come on out. Ooh, I'm bending them. There we go. So, hopefully there's some kind of a way to illustrate that the seal is out, at least partially. Now I gotta just use your finger, work it around in there to dig it the rest of the way out, and there it is. Ta-da! Okay, so these seals are bad. We'll just set them over there for now. We're going to get the new seals For this model of bike, there's two different sizes, as you can probably tell from the one's quite a one. Let's reset the camera a little bit here. One piston's quite a, or this piston is quite a bit bigger than the other one. So there's two sizes of ring. So what you do is you get the big one, put it in some brake fluid. Here, let me reset this back from the top view. Put it in the brake fluid, I mean, this is a pretty intuitive thing. You want to slip it, and this one, for the big piston, at least for, you know, an adult man like me, it's not too hard. For the small piston, my fingers are just a little bit too big, and it's pretty difficult to get the small piston seals in there, but you know, you do it. I find it's a little bit easier just to push the whole thing into the bottom and then work it up, because you get that bevel that's working for you, as opposed to attempting to push it in from the top. I'm trying to do it so that the camera can see what I can't, and that's not working. So I've got it in the groove now, and I just hold it with one finger while I work it around with the other finger. And if you just heard that, that was it popping into position. So now you can hopefully see that the bottom seal is in there. Top seal is a little bit easier, because it's thinner and it's at the top, so you can reach it better. Again, get some brake fluid on there to lubricate it. And again, just get it in. Get it in the notch like that, and push it. Oh, that one's kind of flipped. So let's see. You don't. I mean, it's easy. It does that pretty easily in the sense that it's not. There's a little kink in it, so you got to make sure to work that out. If you have a kink in there, ooh, I don't even know what will happen, but I would assume that your brakes wouldn't work properly. Oh, this one's being kind of difficult to work out here. I'm going to have to take it out and put it back in. It's just rotated a little bit inside of the groove, and there we go. I like to use my shop rag here, and I like to just kind of clean out the inside of the piston a little bit for any debris in there. You don't have to. There's also some old brake fluid that just it's hard to get out. So now I get the piston that we just cleaned, and again, just lubricate it with a little brake fluid here. And line it up. And sometimes you gotta wiggle a little bit. And there you go, and it'll just slide right in there. And then you just do that 4 more times. 3 more times. So I'll come back once I've gotten them all done, and we're ready to put the pads on and put it back on the bike.